BioZyme Incorporated is a fast-growing animal nutrition company based in St. Joseph, Missouri. Bob and his wife Lisa, who is the president of BioZyme, operate the company with a heart for making lives better, be it employees, customers, or livestock.
If you can't be sustainable, then you're not going to be successful. And so I think that's a huge part of what we try to do, is make sure that our products help that producer be sustainable, help that animal do the best it possibly can at what it was made to do. You know, even though its life may be really short, like I always say about a chicken, they're only here for 42 days, but I want it to be the best 42 days it possibly could have been. And if that's the case, then that producer makes more money, which makes him sustainable, which makes our food supply more sustainable, and it's just one big circle that keeps coming back around to keep everything going.
Success is really defined here, right, in our hearts. It's not really totally defined about, you know, financial success, but it's more of that spiritual success, and that's what defines us here. That's the platform. That's the basis.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we both, you know, really believe that God is interwoven in all that we do. And whenever things get a little challenging sometimes, which, you know, that happens no matter what, you know, I'll be like, Bob, he has a plan. I'm not for sure what it is, but I know there is one. And then it'll be like 6 months later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was the plan.
If you like to read and you like music, then you'll like this story, because kind of our foundation is based upon a book and a song. And the book is the Bible, and specifically, I think, John 3:16, you know, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And then the song is a Tim McGraw's song, you know, always be humble and kind. So I think if you take those 4 words, love and give, be humble, be kind, and probably add to that that vocabulary, the word about being grateful. That's kind of the foundation. It's the platform that we live here. And the culture is one about you know, investing in the lives of others. That's really what drives us here. I served in the Air Force from 1966 to 1970. It was during the Vietnam period. And so I spent a year and a half in Kadena, Air Force Base, Okinawa, and 2.5 years at Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix. So I didn't fly. I was a non-flyer at that point, just a regular airman.
In 1997, Bob worked in Omaha, Nebraska. Because his family had deep roots in St. Joseph and didn't want to move to Omaha, Bob earned his private pilot's license as a way to dramatically reduce his commute time. After Bob acquired BioZyme, logistics and demands on the growing business prompted him to invest in a business jet. That opened the door to what became one of Bob's greatest passions.
We belong to an organization. It's called Veterans Airlift Command. And I saw an ad or a promotion about what they do in one of the aircraft magazines, and so we contacted them. And so you know, that's kind of the organization that puts together kind of the opportunities that we have to serve a lot of these young men and women. Specifically, mostly, you know, men and women that have served in our armed forces in the last 20 years in the Middle East. We get a request from them every day for a flight. Some of them are medical priority flights. We try, if we can, if the plane's not being used in our own business, to volunteer for those. The next level down will just be medical flights, but maybe it's not a priority medical flight. And then there are a lot of people, as we'll see in the flight that we have coming up, where a family just needs to get from, they would like to go from one location to another. And it's difficult for many of these people to be able to travel commercially. Alrighty, let's go inside. See if our passengers are here.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. We're picking up a couple of passengers.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, here we go. You ready to go for a flight, young man?
Got an extra passenger today, huh?
We do.
Fun.
Ready to go on an airplane?
Are
How you doing?
Taylor Morris.
Yeah, Taylor and Bob Norton. How you doing? I met you before. I
Nice
think
to
when
see
we
ya.
dropped them off the last time up here.
That's right.
So I didn't get to meet you though, I don't think. I'm Bob.
Danielle.
Nice to meet
Nice
you,
to meet
Danielle.
you.
Who's this young guy?
Well,
Okay, well, it's nice to meet you, buddy. The young man that we're going on our mission with is one of 5 quads in this country. Quad meaning he lost both legs and both arms in the service. He does have prosthetic devices, and we'll fly from here to Waterloo, Iowa, and we'll pick up this young man, his wife, and they have a small child with them, a nephew, and we're going to take them to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Final items are complete and you're clear for takeoff runway 24.
On runway 24, 5,200 remaining.
Oh, here we go.
here we go. Are we driving?
We're driving fast, about ready to take off.
It's fast.
Positive rate.
Here's coming up, PLDAM's coming on, flight level change 200.
Fast as we can. Now here we go. I can see it far away.
How far do you think you can see?
Hero Flight 9 Bravo Zulu, contact departure. Have a good flight.
Over to departure. Your flight 9 Bravo Zulu. So long.
I was explosive ordnance disposal in the Navy, and went into the Navy right out of high school back in 2007. I was in Afghanistan in 2011, 2012. We were on just a routine combat reconnaissance patrol, and kind of started to see all the regular signs and symptoms of what we knew to be an attack that was about to go off. And so we were expecting it, and we were just trying to find a place where we could kind of strong point out of and fight from there. And I was tasked with clearing a way into this building. Stepped on an IED, about 5 pounds, anti-personnel device, homemade, and lost all 4 limbs. So both legs above the knee, left arm above the elbow, and right arm right above the wrist.
So the moment I found out he got hurt, I was actually on my way to work, and I was, for whatever reason, my friend was driving me to work that day, and I got a call from his teammate, and he told me that there was an injury, and went on to say that it was Taylor, and he, at that point, couldn't tell me too many details, but let's just say I'm glad someone else was driving, because it felt like my world just went black all at once.
I was medevac to a hospital there in Afghanistan. A day later, I was medevac to a hospital in Germany to get some more surgeries and more cleaning done. And then a day later, I was medevac to Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of DC. And that's where I did my recovery for the next 2 years. And that was in 2012.
And I honestly didn't know how I was going to react. I didn't know if I was going to break down and cry, if I was going to want to run away. I didn't honestly know, but it was this overwhelming sense of relief when I got there that I looked at him, he was awake, he was conscious, and I just knew with the clarity of his eyes that everything was going to be okay, which, as odd as that sounds, because we were literally at ground zero as far as recovery, but I just knew in that moment everything was going to be okay. Just took it day by day. You really honestly couldn't see the end picture. And if you tried to, it seemed overwhelming and like you were never going to reach it. So we just knew to have short-term goals as well as long-term goals and just keep pushing forward.
Within a couple of weeks, I was up and going to physical therapy. I was probably fitted for prosthetics maybe on the 3rd week, and then just started working with all the prosthetics there. One good thing about Walter Reed is they had an awesome facility. They had tons of experience.
At Walter Reed Hospital, Taylor met Andrew Smith, another soldier recovering from traumatic injury.
We kind of went through a lot of the same things at the same time. So he was just getting up and walking when I was getting up and walking, and so we kind of we bonded over that. We had those things in common. We both left Walter Reed at about the same time back in 2014, and Tori and Andrew started a foundation and down in Chattanooga, so that's what we're going down to see them and partake in one of their fundraisers. Just kind of feels like everybody's doing their part, including BioZyme and Veterans Airlift Command. This is a huge resource to have. It makes travel a million times easier.
Just the thought of flying commercially is overwhelming and stressful. Just too much with all the different prosthetics, and you'd have a couple different sets of legs and a couple different sets of arms.
It's really, really important to make sure those things don't get broken, because everything is custom made. It's not like you can just go to the store and buy a replacement part. It's like a 2-month process if you break something. Another thing is Andrew, I mentioned, he was on a feed bag for about a year, and TSA wouldn't let those through security. He's got a suitcase full of liquid food basically, and they said, sorry, we can't let you through with that. So for him, his only option was to travel with VAC or to travel private. So it makes it a million times easier, and it makes trips available that otherwise you probably wouldn't do because it would be too much of a hassle.
Air Flight 9 Bravo Zulu, cleared visual approach runway 20, contact or 118.3, have a good day.
Clear visual approach runway 20, 18-3, Hero Flight 9 Bravo, stay Lucy on the way out.
Be double fist.
Cheers.
Nutter butter.
These are the kind of people that I think often represent us, in a uniform. These are the kind of people that I think it's easy to look at them and maybe see their handicap and not think about, that they don't think that way, and they're thinking about, the greater cause. Mm-hmm. It certainly, for sure, humbles us to see these young people.
What's up, guys?
It's hot here. Sorry, guys.
We've been very blessed in so many ways, in just about every facet of our life. And we've received many gifts as a result of those blessings, or part of those blessings. One of the gifts that we have is the gift of that airplane. And so, we're just using something that God provided for us into a mission that we feel, is an important way to serve others. So I'm hoping whenever there's a need, we'll be able to continue fulfilling that need.
Good. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you again.
Thanks
Hope
again.
to see you soon. It's
Thank
good
you
seeing
again.
you
Yes,
again.
sir.
It's good seeing you
Great
again, girl.
seeing you.
All right. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Have fun.
And thank you for the snacks.
Oh, yeah. That was the best part, huh? All righty.
All right, see you guys.
I enjoy flying. Flying is also one of kind of my passions. The day's coming, when physically and mentally, I won't be where I think I should be to be a pilot. But we'll continue with this mission whether I'm on that airplane or not.